We're going to go over the parts of the alternator. So I took one apart for you, so that way you can see the parts in it. And so in here, this comes out. You know, I've broken this apart. So this is the part of the housing. You notice all the openings in it to allow airflow to flow. And that's because we want we need to be able to cool the alternator. In here, this is our diode rectifier bridge. And this is how Subaru does it. Inside of here, here's our brushes. And so you can see that they're spring loaded. There's one there. There's another one back here. I'll show you as I go around the outside. So here's the other one. And what they do is they slide and ride on the slip rings. Slip rings are these copper portions that are right here. Now you may have noticed in the end housing, this portion right here, and this is where we actually have real ball bearings. So I've got a set of real ball bearings that sit right here. Now you may have noticed these wires sitting here, and so we don't know whether this is Y wound or it's delta wound, and so therefore you see the individual wires that are right here. Right? This is where our supply is, and this is where we have U, V, and W. Well, U and V and W connect over here in our diode bridge, and this is all broken apart. So therefore it is a little bit more difficult to see, and it's dirty because it's used. So I'm going to flip this over, and you can see it's kind of difficult to see them, but you can see where our diodes there. So we have 6 diodes that are used for changing the alternating current from AC to DC, and then we have one that's going to be going to the rectifier, which then the one that goes to the rectifier is what limits it, its range from about 13 volts to about 15 volts. And so therefore, these little fins that you see on here too, everywhere around here, this is for cooling, right? This is called a heat sink. Now we're done with this. We're going to go on to this. Now on here, you'll see that we've got the rotor. So the rotor is turned by the engine. So if we flip this around, we've got the pulley on here, and the pulley is engaged with, of course, the serpentine belt, which is driven by the engine. Driving that pulley then spins this. You may see these little fins on here. This is the cooling fan. So the cooling fan pulls air across this to keep it cool. Now, being that this part rotates, right, rotor, right? So this portion that's in the middle is the rotor. It has the little fingers on it that engage back and forth to multiply the magnetic field, and that magnetic field induces a current on this portion here called the stator. This is where, again, we have U, V, and W that produce AC voltage that rides in through the diodes, then through the diode rectifier bridge. Here's the bridge, and then this little post right here is the one that actually sticks out the back side of the alternator, which would be right there, and that is where we connect our large red cable that goes to the battery. So there we go.